way they're gonna play like this. However, for Martian Life Matters, if I remember, they kind of like to play with Symmetra, and I think they might keep her. For Junkrat, I think they also like to play Junkrat a lot, even on attack sometimes. Oh, something happened.
Do you know what's happened?
Still got the same problem before.
I wasn't able to load in.
Oh, someone was stuck in... yeah.
So we'll probably still see the same picks again. When we
Yeah,
load back
well...
in. Okay. I'll have to reintroduce it again. Okay. So, we've reconfigured the game and we're back in with Bastion Lives Matter versus the High Noots. So, probably going to see the same picks we had before on the defensive side. But
as far as I remember, Bastion Lives Matter, that Nichlol, if that's the correct name, he always likes to play Junkrat, as far as I remember, even on attack. So it does not surprise me if they will stick with the Junkrat. However, I'm not, like I said earlier, I don't personally think you want the Roadhog on defense here. I mean, you can have it, but I think it's really mandatory to have a Reinhardt shield, especially on defense and even on attack, to be honest, so you have some kind of cover in those open chokes when you want to go in. However, for High Noots, their picks, I think, will stay except for Mei and Torbjorn. I expect first probably to play Widowmaker. Widowmaker is solid here, like especially on the first point in attack, she's able just to get on high ground, possibly get a pick or two, and it's actually going to be really good for High Noots because Bastion Lives Matter do not have a Reinhardt shield, so the sniper Widowmaker will be able to get some shots. And about D01 is quite good as well against Junkrat, so she will be able to hit those bombs. So it seems like High Noots are already countering Bastion Lives Matter by picks, even before seeing what they play. I'm not sure if this is like coincidence or they actually prepared and they already looked at the VODs and seen what Bastion Lives Matter play. I think it's the latter, to be honest. So let's see how this turns out.
Yeah, where High Noots are going to decide to attack through. Looks like it's going to be through that bottom floor, coming up through the stairwell.
Yeah,
I don't think any of Bastion Lives Matter have noticed they're coming in through, and they're just coming straight through under, just skirmishing at the moment.
Yes, exactly. However, Bastion Lives Matter are slightly spread around, and this gives sort of an advantage for High Noots. As well, as you can see, the Reinhardt shield is really being useful here. They can get the shots.
Ton of damage.
Exactly. They're basically taking the damage, meanwhile High Noots were not taking much because of the shield.
Yeah,
and also Sniper was doing great work by getting pickoffs because there was no shield to protect Bastion Lives Matter behind, so it was a really easy point to get, yes.
Yeah, pretty solid capture of that first point there. Ferris up there just trying to take any picks off he can get, while the Bastion Lives Matter try and set up a defensive line back here.
Yeah, they should. They're probably gonna form it around this green bus, usually where people do it.
And they finally picked up a Reinhardt.
Yeah, this is due time. This is good now. Now they have a better composition, however, I'm not sure about the Tracer one. Like, it's slightly a vertical map in this part, and Tracer can't exactly deal with Widowmaker here, to be honest. I think something else like McCree, Genji would be better. Of course, they could win also for a Winston if the Sniper Widowmaker was a huge problem for them. However, so far, High Noots are getting a free push out of this, so... Like, it doesn't seem Bastion Lives Matter are like contesting the payload so far. They still have to make a challenge for it. But they split themselves up.
It seems like a few ultimates are coming up for High Noots in a second, so they might try and push this forward right now. Taking out both the Tracer and Zenyatta.
Yeah, basically.
But Horgan brings out his sound barrier, trying to put some defensive capabilities, but they're just falling like flies right now.
Exactly. High Noots basically, as attackers, they want to bait the defensive ultimates of Bastion Lives Matter. But the point is, Bastion Lives Matter not even now they do have a defensive ultimate, so they just want to bait it with one of their offensives and then win the team fight, the same team fight or the next team fight, and just secure the game. I think that's what they're planning to do at least, or should do. Here we go.
Traffy bringing down the Earth Shadow, charging in, but Kodor brings out his Transcendence, but the Graviton Surge would bring them all together. It seems like this is favouring High Noots because they're still pushing that cart, and the Reinhardt trying to get on there, just trying to stop the cart from pushing, but he gets taken down by Traffy, and I think that's game.
Exactly. Just like I said, they wanted to bait the Zen ulti with one, or possibly with one ultimate, but they had to, I think, use 2 ultimates to make it, and then afterwards they just clean wiped everything. Because they just had more ultimates to bank on against Bastion Lives Matter, and they just overpowered them that way in team fight. Because it's, how should I say, it's a numerical advantage after all. If you have 4 or 5 ultimates and the opposing team has only 2, like, you should be able to win team fight statistically. Of course, things can always change. Someone might get out of position, or something might happen and go wrong. That's always possible. Or let's see the picks right now. So far, the High Noots, I expect them pretty standard. Yeah, this is pretty good what they have. The Reaper choice is probably to play, like, if they will hold the higher ground, top right ground, usually the small choke entrance on Numbani, you just have, like, your team, all of them positioned here, and Reaper becomes really strong when the opposing team is trying to push in a small, tight space. He will have an easy time getting his left clicks. So High Noot, Bastion Lives Matter picks so far as well seem much, much better than what they had before. The D.Va is okay. It's not the best like Zarya might be for the team fight especially. However, it should do okay. I mean, when you go together like at the choke point and you have a D.Va blocking the shots, your Reinhardt shield might last longer, like, and if your Reinhardt shield lasts even 3 seconds longer than the opposing Reinhardt shield, you should have the advantage then, because the opposing team will start to take damage earlier than your team, and that's when you can initiate a team fight and actually win it. But let's see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see where Bastion Lives Matter are going to want to attack through, if it's going to be low or high. Seems like they're going high, meeting into Nikolai, but he's going to back off, not wanting to get taken out too early in this fight. Morgan trying to push through with that barrier with his team behind him, but it seems like D.Va and Zenyatta is not with him at this point in time, not getting any heals down. Trappy charges in, taking out the Reinhardt of Bastion Lives Matter. And they seem to still be trying to push us through with only 3 members, and they're getting swatted by Cypher and Farius, just taking the damage with the Discord Orbs and McCree combo. And looks like Bastion Lives Matter is going to have to back off the remaining members that lost that fight.
It was very interesting that both teams were actually split up, and I'm sure if one of the teams went as one together, it would probably wipe the other one. However, both teams were kind of, some were low ground, some were high ground, and that kind of made it messy, slightly chaotic, because you saw High Noots use Lucio speed just to try to get together on top, all of them, because they were like, some of them were not misplaced, I would say, by not being together. But this time
they're grouping up a lot more. Traffy has gone in. Is he going to take out Hogan? Oh, they both Reinhardts fall off the edge of the map. That's both barriers down.
This is actually a better trade for Bastion Lives Matter, the trade like that, Reinhardt's wise.
Deadeye is popped, but I think he gets taken out before it completes. I think that was Farius activating it. Now just skirmishing on the point, it seems like Bastion Lives Matter have taken out one of the supports of High Noots and the other support, and the rest of High Noots might need to back off right now. Danico activating his Graviton Surge, trying to slow down this push, while the rest of his team try and get back, but it seems like it's just Trappy and Nikolai there.
Yeah, the issue was the following. Like I said, when the Reinhardt suicided into the other Reinhardt, you basically traded 1v1. However, if you're defenders, it takes you much more time to get back on the point. And it's kinda not good to suicide like that. However, it happened. However, from the judge, I heard they only have 1 minute left, so I'm not sure if they can make the wall push. I mean, it's very unlikely. I think they would have to push like uncontested wall way.
The ultimates are favouring Bastion Lives Matter at the moment, but I don't really think it's going to be enough to get in that minute.
Yeah. However, they do have, like, High Noots will have High Noon available very shortly to zone, and also Lucio.
Oh, Shadow coming down from Hawkin, taking 4 members of the enemy team down. The D.Va ult gets popped in, taking out a few members. It seems like High Noots losing this fight, but they still have the time on their side. Nikolai trying to take some people out with Death Blossom. Ferris activating.
No, they're not losing the fight. They're holding it nicely. High Noots were unable to use the Lucio ultimate, it seems. As you can see, it's ready and available. However, they probably... Yeah, the time is up. Maybe that's why. So... that's why probably High Noots stopped carrying, because it's time up, yeah. However, it looked slightly better for Bastion Lives Matter after they got the point, but the problem is they took too much to get it. I think one of the issues was that they did not go together as a group unit, because if they did so, it's a very high probability chance they would won that top high ground like they did if they did it in the first place, because like I said, D.Va blocks shots from your Reinhardt shield, and your Reinhardt shield will last longer compared to the other ones. But it's still okay, I guess.
So we're just going to try and confirm if that was the faster time.
Yeah.
Yeah, believe so.
So the next maps we have, it's either King's Row or Lijiang Tower, which is King of the Hill. This will be the decision of Bastion Lives Matter, which maps will be played upon.
Which map do you think they should be choosing?
Probably King's Row. Probably King's Row, because if you're facing an opposing team which is better individual players than your own team, you probably want to avoid King of the Hill maps, because King of the Hill maps are very team focused and also player centric focus. It really, how should I say, it really shows more who's playing better individually. In payload maps, it's more about as well team tactics and so on. That's why I think they should probably stick with the hybrid or payload maps for Bastion Lives Matter. However, High Noots do want King of the Hill most likely at this point, but we will see what Bastion Lives Matter will decide.
High Noots still trying to hold on this defense, just trying to prove something
over.
to Bastion. Like, it's over the timing, but they're still trying to do it for honor.
I don't know about what the judge says, but I think we should just leave him up to the next game. I don't know.
They might just play it out, I'm thinking.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, I think the ref is going to let it play out and just let the team get some, say, practice for the next match. Just warm up a bit more, because it's, I think, their first match of the day.
Oh yeah, no problem. If I'm not exactly reading the chat, however, if Navor, if you're reading the chat, feel free to read some questions and we can answer them.
The chat up at the end of this game, and I'll ask a few questions. If you have any questions for us, just post them in the chat and I'll read them out.
Yeah, we'll try to answer as best as we can, of course.
It's this time, I'll finish the job. I've got you in my sights.
I'm just getting the chat now. There we go.
Yeah. Well, there's not much to talk about at this point in time, because the game is already over. I already pretty much said what went wrong or what could win better and what maps should be okay for each teams for the next round. So it's really up to them what they decide to pick.
So what do you think their strategies are going to, if the map is chosen to be King's Road, do you really think the teams are going to want to try and do, considering how this match has gone?
Well, for Bastion Lives Matter, I think they should be slightly more coordinated, more like a cohesive unit. They don't, like, many times it seems they kind of wander off, split apart, and that also what kind costs in the game, not just the game, but usually time. And in stopwatch time is very important, and you don't want that to happen. Like, you want to be more faster at grouping up, going together and doing things. However, also High Noots sometimes were splitting themselves apart, but not that much as Bastion Lives Matter. So we'll see how it goes. However, it's King's Row. It is very possible that you can hold out the first point. You can just bunker up and not let the attacker's team get to the point, especially if your defensive team is really banking on ultimates, like saving ultimates and having the right ultimates for each team fight, and you just keep surviving and living through, then you can hold that point A for quite long. So now we will see. I'm not sure who's gonna defend first, but if High Toots are defending first, and Bastion Lives Matter really has to go as a cohesive unit together and make sure they win those team fights, not split apart and not waste too much time either. Because
I think we got some questions in from the chat if you want to just round off what you were saying and then we'll get into that.
Sure, of course.
Okay. The first question is from Sota, S-O-T-A. Who do you think can beat the High Noots? They seem really strong for a 6 random team.
Well, I don't want to be...
Yeah. Well, you are from HND1, so
Yeah.
I think I'll try and answer this
HND.
question, being from one of the lower end teams who, from my view, I think that could probably beat High Noots. I'd be either Glass Rebels or HND1, I
Pretty
think,
much
are
like
the
that,
two
yes.
kind of teams that could either push it to 3 games or win over them, is what I've seen so far from this tournament.
I think...
And for a 6-man random team, they're doing pretty well, the High Noots. I know they've put a lot of practice in recently as a group.
Yes, they did. They're doing pretty well. I mean, I played with some of them together, and they're pretty nice people overall as well.
Okay, we also got one from Siphon saying, what do you think about the Tracer choice? He thinks that Genji or Winston would have been great to counter Widow, but would have been enough to win.
That's exactly how I said earlier when we were at the... Before the first checkpoint, when it's a vertical map and they have a Widowmaker, you really want something that can go vertical, because Tracer, on paper, it might sound okay against the Widow, but the problem is if the Widow is on the balcony, Tracer gets up to her, she jumps down, and she can just get back up if Tracer jumps down and she doesn't have her E. And if Tracer is forced to use her E, it's a pretty high cooldown, and then she might also get killed. So it's much better to have a Winston or anything with verticality against a Widowmaker on such maps. However, if there's no verticality, then Tracer is a good choice against Widowmaker to deal with her. It's not a bad thing.
Okay, we got another question in from Kenan. He asks, who impressed us the most during this tournament so far, I'd say?
The World Tournament, well, for me personally, it's like, as a player, when I was playing, I was really impressed by some of my teammates, because they really stepped their game up. Like, from the first week when we played together, which is Heroes Never Die.
Yep. HND1.
Yes, the first week we played, or first day, Friday, last week, it was really disappointing, but they really stepped up. We did practice and everything. We did much better, and it was more fun as well for me. From a caster standpoint, I was really impressed with Luminite. I think that was his name. I don't remember exactly for which team he was. I think.
Quick look while you.
Yes, I think he was not Blackwatch, but the teams that I think it was. I'm not sure if it was Last Rebels, but Luminite, the Reinhardt player. I really liked his Reinhardt, very aggressive.
From Team Iris.
Team Iris, yeah. They might not be the best team around, but Luminite had pretty some good showing, and many times he actually managed to get a point for the team because he was able to charge in a team fight a very important target and turn the favor, the tide for his team. Unfortunately, they didn't made it, I think. However,
no, they got knocked out by Blackwatch yesterday.
Yeah. Exactly, I did cause it. However, I still liked Luminite performance as a fellow Reinhardt.
But just as we're on the topic at the moment, I would like to mention that we're doing, as a server, a couple of awards for this tournament, as in MVP of the final game, kind of like the person over the entire tournament who's risen the most, like a rising star. And these awards are going to be shown on the grand final in like a pre-show to it that we're organizing at the moment. And we're going to give them out after the grand final with the victors around as a kind of just a celebration of everyone's performance this tournament. So I just thought I'd mention that while people are watching right now.
Yeah. Well, so they decided to go King's Row after war, like I predicted for Bastion Lives Matter, because they probably realized King of the Hill wouldn't pay off for them. However, if Bastion Lives Matter do manage to win this round, they're still forced to play on King of the Hill, which is a very high advantage for the High Noots. So High Noots are a pretty much favorable position. Even if they would manage to lose here, they still have a King of the Hill map, which they should be able to simply overwhelm them in the team fight. So we will see the picks so far. Bastion Lives Matter, I really hope they won't go with Symmetra, because the High Noots want to team fight very quickly, very soon, very fast. And when you have a Symmetra, if your Symmetra won't get teleport in the first 10 seconds of the game, or 15 even, I mean, it is possible with the good right clicks, but very hard. You will not be able to pull your teleporter for the first team fight, and that's when you might have problems, because Symmetra does not provide much in an actual team fight. She's basically like a quasi-resurrection, because your teammates die, you have the teleport available, so they all come back. Some Symmetras will just drop the teleport when your teammates are about to respawn, so they come quickly back to the fight. However, she has the teleport. This is exactly what they needed. Now it is perfect for Bastion Lives Matter. She has the teleporter, and she will probably drop it now, or she will drop it later on.
I think she's going to go back and drop it now in that room.
I think she's going slightly too far.
Yeah, that's quite a distance.
Right. However, this looks very profitable and very good for Bastion Lives Matter, because at this point, Bastion Lives Matter, they do want to fight. They want just to fight them because they know they will come back very quickly as attackers. And this looks pretty good for Bastion Lives
Traffy going
Matter,
in, missing everyone, not actually getting anyone with that charge. Discord Orm on both Reinhardts, he gets taken down, but Ferris is able to pick up the Zarya of Bastion Lives Matter. 3 members of Bastion Lives Matter are down, but they do have that teleporter up and ready right now.
Yes.
But are they going to get back in time before the point is taken? I don't think so.
Yeah, that's
the distance is behind. The point is secured by the High Noots, but they are getting taken down by Horgan's Earth Shatter. But there's no one there to really combo with it right now.
As well, it was already too late. I think it seems the problem was the Symmetra places teleporter too far back. What she should do is either place the teleporter closer, which you risk of being destroyed, or you simply hold to your teleporter, and when you lose your teammates, then you drop it somewhere around the corner so they come back in 1 second, and even if the teleporter is destroyed, you still got your 3 teammates come back from the team fight that they died. And it works like a res.
I don't really know what the Symmetra's trying to do, charging in against High Noots on her own and just gets taken out.
At this point, he probably wants to switch off and he might just suicide it, or he's either trolling at this point, I'm not sure. I probably expect swap, yeah. He decided to go with Tracer.
Transcendence gets popped by, I believe that is Bastion Lives Matter, after a combo of the Zarya Graviton Surge, but no damage to really be comboed with it. Traffy is behind the majority of Bastion Lives Matter with the Discord on him, just trying to survive against Greendale and Kildale, taking him down. But the Discord is on him. Back in the main fight, it seems like Bastion Lives Matter get a Graviton Surge down. Horgan goes in, taking out majority of High Noots with crosses.
Basically what happened is that Bastion Lives Matter were able to pick Cypher, the Zenyatta of High Noots, with his ultimate available. And after that, they initiated a teamfight with Graviton, while Zen was not present, even with his ultimate available, and they were simply able to wipe them over. So it was really unfortunate for High Noots to lose the Zenyatta in that teamfight before he got to press Q.
Seems like half the team of High Noots are trying to come around the back of Bastion Lives Matter right now. I don't think I've noticed it.
Yes.
Zenyatta pops his Transcendence, keeping up his team nice and healthy, or trying to push it onto the remnants of Bastion Lives Matter right now. Horgan is taken down by Traffy. Cross is the only one there with the Discord on him and gets taken down.
Yeah, basically Reinhardt and Zarya did get sandwiched in between High Noots at that point in time. They had nowhere to go. However, what High Noots did might be slightly risky if Bastion Lives Matter were more aware of that Reaper and McCree on the flank. They could just easily focus fire and kill them right away, because they were not in line of any kind of healing whatsoever. I mean, Reaper would probably shift to his team, however McCree might not be able to escape.
Seems like, I believe that is Nikolai there having to back out of that room once the Reinhardt starts trying to take him out. But the Reinhardt of Bastion Lives Matter is down, that is their shield gone. Ferris automatically activates his ult to try and take out some members, but the Transcendence is popped by Bastion Lives Matter, as well as the sound barrier gets taken down, but Nikolai is in there with the Death Blossom taking out a few members. Crosis is down, activates his Graviton Surge, but is taken out. It seems like Bastion Matters are just trying to trickle in, trying to stop them from taking this point right now, trying to save a little bit of time.
Yeah.
But that is... Oh no, Greendale gets on there as Tracer, but it's literally just him. Oh, he's still on it, it's just saving a little bit of time.
I mean, every second counts, you never know, like, having those extra 5 seconds might allow you to get that last one team fight that you need to. So it's 4 minutes and 28 seconds. This is pretty fast, actually. This is a tough time to beat. They basically, if Bastion Lives Matter do want to win this, they have to win the point A very quickly, possibly on the first push. They do not want to waste time on the first point, because usually on this map, the first point is one of the points you waste most of your time, or you can really get a stalemate for very long periods of the time, which as an attacker you do not want to have it, especially when you're running on such low amount of time. And also the last point is very tough to break, because the defenders do spawn closer to the payload, unlike your team. But we'll see how it goes. So far, the picks of Bastion Lives Matter seem pretty standard to me. I think the D.Va might turn out pretty good. Like I said earlier, she can block the shots and make sure the Reinhardt shield lasts longer than theirs. However, I'm not sure about like High Noots. If they really go with the Roadhog pick, it's actually pretty decent if he's able to hook D.Vas, because a hook D.Va, and which also gets discorded by Zen most likely, will get out of her mech immediately, and that's what they want to do. They want her out of the mech as much as possible, so she's not blocking the shots of your team.
I definitely know that Danikal is quite a good Roadhog player, so he might be able to do the hooks with D.Va.
That's good. However, keep in mind, if D.Va is playing around with Reinhardt, or they are playing behind the Reinhardt shield, it's very difficult for Roadhog to block it. And also, I know Roadhog can break the shield of Reinhardt very quickly, but if you do have a D.Va who's blocking those shots, it makes it much harder for the shield to drop down faster. So we'll see how it goes. I'm very, I think it might be slightly favored for Bastion Lives Matter in terms of composition. However, if High Noots are managed to hook, it's great. But here it goes, there's the team fight.
Yeah, Bastion Lives Matter waiting no time to try and get on this point, but they are a little split. Two members of the team are back against. Yeah, they're all split. Seems that I think Horgan is taking down the shield for Bastion Lives Matter is gone. It's going to allow the Dynacard to get a few more picks with those hooks, I believe. Exactly,
and D.Va also got out of her mech, but now she's back in, it seems like, so... Yeah, the fortunate problem was with Bastion Lives Matter, it was not a bad idea to go and fight. However, the problem was they kind of split, like 2 of them went into the hotel room and 4 of them outside by the looks of it, so... Meanwhile, the High Noots were quite compact together, minus the Reaper who was flanking from behind. But that's okay about the Reaper thing, because he can also shift out and get back to his team. Relatively safe there.
Going in this hotel room, axes and hammers swinging left and right. Earth shattered down from Horgan, taking down Danikal. He goes down. Nikovai is in the back, but he gets Discord orbed. Transcendence pot by Cypher of High Noots, trying to keep his team there just to hold this point for the moment. Nihal activates the Dragon Blade, charging in, trying to take out the remaining members of High Noots. I believe he does take both out, and that should be the point for Bastion Lives Matter.
Exactly. It seems the issue here for High Noots is they had some ultimates available, like Roadhog ultimate and even Zen ultimate. However, Roadhog ultimate was unable to be used. He died very quickly, and Zen ultimate seems to be slightly late. He probably should use it earlier. I think he might be stunned by Hogan Earthshatter, but I'm not positive. Even if it was so, he should probably ultimated earlier and kept more teammates alive for slightly longer period of time and possibly win the fight. But it still looks okay for High Noots, because Bastion Lives Matter do have a very short amount of time to win. I'm not sure about how much time they have right now, but they need to beat 4 minutes and 28 seconds, so...
But they still have 1 point to increase the time, I think. Oh, Ferris is around the back, but the Earthshadow takes down Croesus and Horgan. Killer has to activate Transcendence to try and keep people alive. Croesus does get 2 people with that D.Va ultimate though, so he might be able to push it.
They're still getting a free push on the payload uncontested, while they're staggering the Reinhardt. This looks so far pretty good for Bastion Lives Matter. High Noots basically have to regroup here quickly and try to contest before the checkpoint arrives. They do not want any more delayed deaths at this point.
No.
They might be able to do it. They do have a Reaper ultimate.
He's going to drop down. Death Blossom, and he is above them, so he might want to jump down in a second.
Score that they're aware of.
Yeah, he's got to wait till it's gone, but I think he's going in now. But discorded up, he does get 1 pick and starts clearing the point there. The sound barrier is popped by Link, trying to push back Bastion Lives Matter off this point. They seem to be doing it, taking out Diva from her mech. Seems like Greendale's just going to back off on that Reaper right now. Although there is a lone Genji near the point trying to back off from this fight, not trying to get picked up at the moment, I believe. And he's out.
Exactly. However, High Noots quickly recuperated, regrouped themselves, and were able to hold this checkpoint, fortunately for them. And also by looking at the ultimates, you can see now High Noots have pretty strong zoning ultimates with Earthshatter and High Noon, so they're able to buy extra time. And they do have 1 minute remaining, from what I heard from the judge. So they basically have to win this team fight and push all the way and win every single fight if they do want to win. Otherwise, it will be over for Bastion Lives Matter.
Yep. I think Bastion Lives Matter will be put down into the lower brackets. They won't be fully out the tournament just yet, but they look like trying to be fighting here. But it does seem it's favouring High Noots.
It is, yes. But Genji is doing some work. He got 3 kills.
Varys activating the Deadeye, trying to take off. I think he's going to try and get Croesus there.
She might get 1 kill. 2 kills even, yeah.
2 kills, gets down a kill. Not able to survive through that.
Actually now, look at the Bastion Lives Matter. They're pushing in and I don't have nothing to contest now.
Depends how much time they're going to get from this point, whether they're going to be able to get it or not. We'll see now.
They only have possibly 20.
No, I think that might be it actually.
That might be it. Oh, this is it time, yeah. I just got it from the judge. Yeah, it's really unfortunate. It seems if Bastion Lives Matter were able to hold slightly longer, and it seems they just needed a bit more time. But however, it's stopwatch. It's all about time, and that's how it goes. However, High Noots did a pretty good job. There were some flops, I think, especially with Diva Ultimate, killing 2 of them. I think that probably shouldn't have happened. They could have avoided that, I think. But other than that, it seemed pretty fine. Maybe it's first game of the day. They're still a bit, you know, rusty.
Just trying to warm up.
They're getting slightly more warmed up now, yes. And there's a quad K High Noon right there.
Yeah.
It's
player of the game.
Most likely, but this is about it, I guess. We won't see King of the Hill map, and I hope maybe 1 game today will be best of 3.
Yeah,
I hope it's not gonna be mine, because I want to cast the game. That's best of goes to round 3.
Well, I got a match in like 2 games time, and we'll try and push it to 3 for you.
No. You should never look it for yourself. You should look it as a caster.
Really? So if we can try and get it, if we can win the game, I'll be happy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're up against Blackwatch. That's Boundless Power of my team.
Yeah, I think I will. I think I will be casting your game as well. So, don't worry. I wish good luck to you for that as well. And I think
some practicing in a minute. But what do you think Bastion Lives Matter are going to have to do in practice for when they get into the lower bracket to try and continue in this tournament? From what you've seen in this match,
I think they just need to work more on communication, what to do, because sometimes it seems they're like uncoordinated, splitting up. You have to be much more cohesive, much more together, and also sometimes it seems they were not utilizing their ultimates properly, like banking on them. How should I say, like trying to bait opposing ultimates, meanwhile saving yours, you know, like thinking about your ultimates and opposing ultimates. When do they have it? When should we use ours? And things like that. I think they just need to. I think the individual skill was not that super bad or anything. It was pretty solid. I just think they need to work more as a team. I'm not sure if like they got picked up randomly together like High Noots did, or they're an actual team.
I think they formed together before the tournament and entered as a team altogether because they were in the play bracket.
Okay, I see. However, I think they just need practice with communication, and it's also a good thing if they probably should check some videos for strategies on certain maps, what you want to do, what is most optimal to do, and what compositions to run. Of course, you have to keep in mind who is able to play comfortably on what role. It's very important that in your team you have teammates who are playing on the roles they're comfortable with. You don't want to put someone on something he's not really good at, you know?
Yeah. Well, I think we're going to wrap this up with a couple of questions from the chat.
Sure.
So asks, what do you think will be the best game coming up in the tournament?
Probably
to watch.
Probably the game that I'm going to play against the winner of against High Noots. Basically, that's gonna be the game you're gonna want to watch.
Yeah, because are you up against them now from this game? I think.
Think
this is the semi-final.
Yes, I think this is it. This will be my opponents for
Yeah,
Heroes
so
Never Die.
definitely
So
tune in for that match. For sure, we'll see Razor in action.
11 p.m. Central European time, as far as I'm aware, it should be. So,
Okay, I think we got one more question from Siphon asking, do you think the Symmetra teleporter would have worked if less members of Bastion Lives Matter died? As he thinks that it usually doesn't matter as much if you only have one or two players dead.
Actually, I would say like this. If Symmetra plays the teleporter much closer to the point, or simply plays the teleporter when actually, let's say you lose 2 or 3 teammates and you look at the respawn counter, and when they're about to respawn, like 1 second or very close to respawn, you just drop the teleport around the corner and all 3 of them who died would just hop on it. And even if High Noots were managed to destroy the teleporter, it doesn't matter because 3 guys would be back on point like they wanted, like a resurrect. And many high player Symmeters who still play Symmeters do it like this because it really pays off. Like you do it like a resurrect, sort of, you know, like when they're about to respawn, you place your teleport around the corner, and High Noots, I mean, the opposing team has a very short amount of time window, like maybe 2 seconds to destroy the teleporter, even if it's close, or the 3 guys or how many died would come back. However, it's also important who died, because if you lose too much of your front line, like your Reinhardt shield, or possibly your supports, or keeping up the others alive, then you might not be able to even pull this off with the teleporter. That's the problem. I think they did lose the Reinhardt, the shield, and that's what made it slightly harder, because if you do lose your DPS,